Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into one of the most astonishing moments of modern warfare, the $20 million plus Russian defense collapse caused by a devastating Ukrainian jet strike on a Russian military base. This single event has sent shockwaves across the global defense community, revealing deep flaws within Russia's air defense network and showcasing how Ukraine has evolved from being a country under siege to one capable of executing world-class precision attacks. What unfolded in this strike wasn't just an explosion of weapons and fire. It was an explosion of intelligence, technology, and strategic mastery. The Russian base that was targeted was considered nearly impenetrable. It was a sprawling installation filled with radar towers, missile systems, command posts, and fuel depots, stretching across several kilometers. Every inch of it was surrounded by layers of defenses designed to intercept enemy aircraft long before they could even approach. For years, Russia had portrayed these facilities as proof of their technological superiority, using them as command centers for drone coordination and missile deployment. But that illusion was shattered when Ukrainian aircraft managed to infiltrate the airspace undetected and unleash a storm that tore the base apart in minutes. From the outside, the base looked like a fortress. Satellite images taken just before the strike showed walls of anti-air missile systems lined like sentinels, large radar dishes constantly rotating, and military trucks parked in precise formation. The perimeter was surrounded by bunkers filled with ammunition and electronic warfare equipment. Yet, the same concentration of assets that was supposed to make it powerful became its downfall. The compact arrangement made it an ideal target for a concentrated strike. When the Ukrainian jets arrived, their missiles didn't have to travel far between targets. Everything was within close reach, amplifying the impact of every explosion. When the strike hit, the sky above the base lit up with blinding flashes. Massive fireballs erupted as fuel tanks detonated one after another, sending shockwaves miles away. Buildings collapsed, vehicles were turned to ash, and radar systems melted into twisted metal. The imposing exterior of the base was reduced to rubble. Videos that surfaced online hours later showed thick black smoke rising into the sky, and distant explosions continuing as secondary munitions ignited. What had been a symbol of Russian might was now nothing more than a burning scar on the landscape. Inside the base, the devastation was even worse. Ukrainian intelligence had identified that the base's central command post was hidden underground, believed to be protected by reinforced concrete. The strike, however, used precision, guided munitions capable of deep penetration. The missiles tore through the structure, collapsing communication rooms and killing off the power supply instantly. Screens that once displayed radar data went dark, and command systems were buried under debris. Officers inside the base were caught completely off guard, with no time to react or issue countermeasures. The short and brutal interior destruction revealed how even reinforced shelters are no longer safe in the era of precision warfare. The performance of the strike was nothing short of extraordinary. Ukrainian jets, likely modified MiG-29s or Su-27s, executed the operation with flawless coordination. Flying at extremely low altitudes, they evaded Russian radar detection and used advanced electronic countermeasures to jam incoming signals. Once they reached their launch positions, the aircraft deployed a combination of anti-radar and guided missiles. Each missile was programmed to hit a specific target: fuel depots, radar towers, command centers, and air defense batteries. Within minutes, nearly every critical component of the base's defense system was destroyed. The accuracy of the strike left military analysts stunned, as it demonstrated that Ukraine's Air Force now operates with precision levels once seen only in NATO operations. What made this operation so remarkable was how effectively Ukraine combined technology and intelligence. Weeks before the strike, reconnaissance drones mapped every inch of the base, identifying vulnerabilities in radar coverage and detecting communication patterns. When the operation was launched, it wasn't just a military strike, it was the execution of a perfectly synchronized digital and physical attack. Ukrainian cyber units reportedly disrupted radar signals moments before the jets entered, delaying Russian response time. By the time Russian operators realized what was happening, it was already too late. The performance of this operation proved that modern warfare is no longer just about the size of an army, but about data, precision, and timing. The safety measures taken by Ukraine during the mission were equally impressive. Pilots flew at altitudes so low that they were almost skimming the terrain, using the ground's natural contours to stay hidden from radar detection. The aircraft were equipped with flare dispensers and jamming pods to confuse any missiles fired their way. Every step was calculated to minimize exposure and maximize survival chances. Remarkably, not a single Ukrainian aircraft was reported lost during the mission. The safety of the pilots and the precision of the technology used became key elements of this operation's success. On the Russian side, the picture was entirely different. Their safety systems failed on every level. The base's anti-aircraft defenses, which included S-300 and Pantsir missile systems, either didn't detect the incoming jets or reacted far too late. One of the most embarrassing aspects for Russia was that several of these systems were found destroyed while still in their parked positions, never having fired a single missile. It was a moment that exposed just how overconfident and unprepared Russian defenses had become. The base's communication links with regional command centers also failed within minutes, leaving local commanders blind and powerless. One of the most unique elements of this entire event was Ukraine's use of decoys and deception. Before the strike, Ukrainian forces reportedly launched a wave of inexpensive drone decoys that mimicked fighter jet radar signatures. Russian defenses, fooled by the false signals, fired multiple interceptors at these decoys, wasting valuable ammunition. Just moments later, the real jets entered the area under the cover of this confusion. This clever tactic showcased Ukraine's growing understanding of electronic warfare and its ability to exploit Russian weaknesses in radar interpretation. Another unique factor was the simultaneous targeting strategy. Instead of focusing on one location, Ukraine hit multiple points at once, forcing the Russians to split their attention, which led to total chaos. The financial aspect of this event also highlights the absurd imbalance of power and efficiency. The total estimated damage exceeded $20 million, with destroyed radar systems, missile launchers, fuel reserves, and armored vehicles accounting for the bulk of the loss. Meanwhile, the cost of Ukraine's strike, even accounting for advanced munitions, was only a fraction of that. For every dollar Ukraine spent, Russia lost hundreds. This imbalance demonstrates how modern precision warfare can economically cripple a much larger military power. It also highlights the strategic value of quality over quantity, where a small, well-coordinated force can outperform a larger but poorly managed army. The strike also carried immense psychological weight. For the Russian military, this was not just a material loss but a symbolic defeat. The message was clear: no base, no matter how fortified, is truly safe anymore. Soldiers stationed at nearby facilities began relocating their assets deeper into Russian territory, fearing similar attacks. For Ukraine, this victory boosted morale both among troops and civilians, showing that their fight isn't just defensive but proactive and capable of delivering serious blows to the aggressor. On the international stage, this operation reaffirmed global confidence in Ukraine's military modernization efforts and the effectiveness of Western support. This attack represents a broader shift in the nature of warfare. Traditional strategies built around massive fortifications and centralized command centers are becoming obsolete. The Ukrainian strike demonstrated that mobility, intelligence, and speed now define victory. Russia's old methods of relying on heavy armor and layered defense systems are proving vulnerable against smaller, smarter, and faster operations. The lessons from this incident will likely reshape how countries think about national defense in the coming years, with more emphasis on digital warfare, precision missiles, and decentralized command structures. In the aftermath of the attack, Russian media initially tried to downplay the damage, calling it a minor incident. However, satellite images and leaked videos quickly proved otherwise. The sheer scale of destruction was undeniable. Analysts estimated that it would take months, if not longer, to rebuild the facility, and some of the destroyed systems were irreplaceable under current sanctions. The blow to Russia's logistics and command operations was severe, reducing their ability to coordinate air defenses in the region. In conclusion, the $20 million plus Russian defense collapse caused by Ukraine's jet strike is more than just a military success. It's a statement of capability, intelligence, and technological evolution. It marks a turning point in the conflict, showing that Ukraine is not only defending itself, but redefining how warfare is fought in the 21st century. The operation's precision, timing, and strategic brilliance prove that the future of combat belongs to those who can think, adapt, and strike smarter, not just harder. For Russia, this event is a harsh reminder that outdated pride cannot protect against modern precision. For the world, it's proof that innovation, courage, and calculated strategy can overturn even the most powerful empires. The battlefield has changed forever, and this strike will be remembered as one of the most defining moments in modern military history.